Hi folks, welcome to my channel. In this video we are going to learn how to validate a form using JavaScript. In this video we are going to use only plain JavaScript guys. We are not going to use any framework like React, Angular or AngularJS. We are going to use only plain JavaScript. That's it. But in this video we are going to use event listeners. That's it. We are going to complete our work by using event listeners, particularly input event listener. We will discuss it about that event listener later. Now let me show how this form works. Okay guys, when I write anything in the name section it doesn't do anything. Okay, but whenever I start write anything on the email field it says invalid email until we give the email correctly. See, if I complete my email correctly it says valid email. Okay, if we come to password section, if I start write anything on the password it says weak password. See, it says weak password because the length of the password is very small, which is 5. If it goes beyond 7 character it says good password. See, okay, it says good password. If I add any special characters like @ or dollar it says strong password. Okay, now let's come to confirm password. When I start write anything on the confirm password it says password doesn't match. When I complete the confirm password correctly, if it matches with the password it says password matched. Okay, this is what we are going to do in this video guys. Okay guys, without any further ado let's jump into the code section. Okay, first create a HTML file and a CSS file. I am not going to create a file separately for JavaScript because the code is going to be very simple guys. We will do it in the HTML file itself, so I am not going to create any JS file. We are going to create only two files. One is HTML, another one is CSS file. Okay, let's create the file. If you are using Ubuntu, just say touch index.html. It will create the file for you. Okay, let me create another one file, index.css. Okay, let's see whether we have our files or not. Here you can see guys, we have our two files. Let's open our favorite code editor, which is Visual Studio Code. Okay, for opening Visual Studio Code you have to say code space, another one is dot. It will open Visual Studio Code from the terminal. Here you can see guys, it opens Visual Studio Code for us. Now let's start writing code. This video is going to be very simple guys. If you have some basic understanding then it will be very simple for you to do that form. Okay, let's get our boilerplate. Okay, just hit enter, it will give you the boilerplate. Let me change the title, let me change it to sign up. Okay, now let's create 4 fields. I hope we have to create 4 fields. One is name, email, password and confirm password. See, this button doesn't do anything guys. I have placed this only for display purpose, nothing to do with this button, just for display purpose, so we don't have to worry about that button. Okay, now let's get back to the VS code and let's write our code. Okay, we need 4 fields, right? Okay, let me create 4 input first. Input. Okay, just copy this and paste it over 3 times. Okay, after that let me create label. We need 4 labels, right? Label label. I don't need any for section, just say name here. Okay, just copy this. Okay, just place it over here. We have to change it this name to email here, right? Okay, I hope you guys are already familiar with HTML. Okay, now just copy this over here. Now let me change name to password. Okay, now let me change the password to confirm password here. Just copy that line and paste it over here. Okay, just say confirm password. Okay, now let me change the types. First we need a text type, so we don't need to change this. Next we need email type, right? So let's change this type to email. Now we need 2 passwords. One is for password, another one is for confirm password, so change the type to password. Okay, now let's add some ID for our input field. I'm going to name this ID as name itself, nothing more fancy. Now let's give a ID for email field. Let me name it as email itself, nothing more fancy. Okay, now let's go to password field. Let me name same as password. Okay, now let me go to the confirm password. Okay, let me name it as conf pass. whatever you wish, it doesn't matter. Okay, conf password. Okay, we are done with this. Now let me place a button here. Where the button go, just write button. Okay, just say submit. Okay, now let me create a heading because we have to display this created account, right? Let me do that in the h3 tag. Okay, create an account. Okay guys, with this done, now let's check whether our HTML page has any error or not. I hope it doesn't have any error. Now let me open it. Index.html. Okay, here you can see guys, we have our 4 fields ready. Now let's add some CSS. I'm not going to write any CSS guys, because if I write CSS this video goes very long. So I'm going to copy paste my code which I already have written. Let me copy paste it. Here you can see guys, I have pasted my CSS code. It contains 2 classes. One is container and heading. It means I have to create the class name here. I hope the container goes in the body. Just say container here. After that we have our what, a heading class, right? It means I hope I need to create a class name with heading here. Okay, after that let's go to the CSS file. Here we have some style for label and style for input, and here we have small fields, right? It means this are small fields, this are in the small tag. This means we have to create 3 small tag, right? Now let's create that small tag in the HTML. Okay, after that we are designing our button. That's it. Okay, now let's check whether we successfully applied that CSS or not. Okay, we have just copy paste this code, but still we didn't link this CSS file with our HTML file. Now let's link our file with HTML. For that you have to do just say link. I hope you guys are already familiar with this, so let me go very quickly. Okay, now let's check whether it has any error. Now you can see guys, we got our form here which we saw here, right? Now we have to deal with our JavaScript. Before that, what we have to create? We have to create small fields. Before name we don't get any small field, but under email we get small field. So that's why let me create a small field with the ID here. Let's say email message. Okay, okay, email message. Now let's copy this once again, just paste under password. Here let's change the ID name as password message. Okay, now here let's change, now do the same, let's copy paste it and change the ID name as conf pause message, whatever you wish, it really doesn't matter. Okay, now we are done with our small field. Now we have to focus on our JavaScript, which is the most important part of the video, right? Okay, just open a script tag under the complete content of the HTML. I'm going to create a script tag. Okay, just say script. Okay, now let's work on our JS. First of all, let's complete our email section. It means our email must contain a @ symbol at a dot symbol. We have to check whether our email contains @ symbol and a dot symbol. That's it, right? For that, I'm going to use event listener. First of all, I have to get the email input field. For that, use DOM element document dot get element by ID. I hope so email, which I have right here, right? Email. Okay, now we have to place a event listener to this. Okay, add event listener, and the event listener is going to be input. If users start write anything on this input field, it is going to be, it is input event. Okay, I hope you understand. If the user starts write anything on this particular input field, it is going to be a input event. Okay, so that's why we are going to use input as an event here, and after that it takes a function, right? Okay, let me name it as check email. Still now we didn't create any function with the name of check email, but I'm going to create it now. Okay, let's create the function with the name of check email. Okay, say check email. It takes event because we are using event listeners. It means we can get the event. First of all, we have to get the value of the input field, right? So how can we get that value? Just say let email. Here you can name whatever the variable name is. It really doesn't matter. I have named it email. You can change whatever you wish. but email looks much good. I think so. I don't know. Okay, let's first get the value. Event dot target dot value. Okay, by writing this line, this 27th line, we are getting the value whatever the user has written in this particular input field. Now we have to check whether the particular input field has @ symbol or a dot symbol. Okay, if email dot includes, okay, if the email doesn't include @ symbol or a dot symbol, okay, what doesn't include, so here you can see, guys, I'm using a not symbol here. It means if the email doesn't contain @ or if the email doesn't contain dot, right, we have to display the error message. But where we have to display the error message? In this particular small tag. First of all, we have to get the tag right. Okay, let me get the tag. Just say let email, just name it as message or error message. Okay, whatever you name it, really doesn't matter. Error message, let me get it, document dot get element by id. Here our id name is email message, right? Email message. Okay, email message, we successfully get that. Now we have to display some content. We have to say invalid email, right? So we have to say like this, message dot inner, sorry, error message dot inner text is equal to invalid email. Okay, after that we have to change this color of this particular input field, right? We have to change this color to red. So for that, what we are going to do is, first of all, we have to select that particular input field. Just select it by saying document.get element by id, and the id name is email here because we are targeting the emails input field. And let me change that style dot border bottom, I think so, border bottom is equal to, okay, now let's say enter here. Okay, border bottom is equal to 2 pixel solid, and we have to change it in the red color. After that, we have to change the color of the inner text, right? Let me copy this. We have to change the color, error message dot style dot, okay, dot color is equal to red. Okay, now let's check whether it has any error or working perfectly fine or not. Okay, let me refresh it and start it anything. Okay, it says invalid email. Okay, it works perfectly fine. It says invalid email. Now we have to handle the valid email section, right? Just say else if the email contains both @ and a dot symbol, we have to change the inner text as valid email. Let me do it here. Okay, we have to change this as valid email, and we have to change the color for the box, for the border, okay, and for the text. Okay, let me check whether it works perfectly fine or not. Okay, say saul@mail.com. If I complete my mail id, it says valid email. Okay, guys, with this done, now let's go to the password section, and it is also very simple, guys. Okay, now first of all, we have to target our password field, and we have to display a message in this small tag, in this particular small tag, which is in the 19th line with the id name of password message, right? Okay, now let's do the same. Copy the code of the email section. Okay, copy it and paste it over once again. Okay, okay, we pasted it successfully. Now let's change the id name. Here our id name is password, right? Here you can see in the 18th line it is password. Okay, we have to display the error message in the 19th line, and that's id name is password message. Now let's change the get element by id name is here password. Okay, now we have to change the function name. Okay, let me change it as check password. Now we are going to create a function with this name. Okay, let's change this name, check password. Okay, we are targeting this particular input field, right? So that's why I'm going to change the variable name as password. or pass, whatever you name it, it really doesn't matter. Here we have to change the get element ID's name. If what we are using here, we are using password message, right? So that's why let's change it to password message. Okay, let's check the spelling correct or not. Okay, it is correct. Now we have to change the logic here. Okay, let me okay, let me delete this code. Okay, now let's write our logic for password section. Here, if the password, okay, if the pass dot length is less than 7, we have to say where, just copy this and paste it over here. We have to say weak password. Okay, and we don't have to change anything here, right? Yes, we have to change the get element by id, which is the particular input field color. We have to change the color, we have to change the color from gray to red, right? So we have to target this particular input field, which is in the 18th line. Okay, and its id name is password, so change it to password. Okay, and okay, we are done with this. Now if the password is greater than what, if the password is greater than 7 character, we have to say good password. Okay, just in the else condition, just paste this code and say good password, and we have to change the color from red to orange. Okay, change the text color also orange. Okay, after that we have to deal with the strong password. If the password contains any special character, if the password doesn't contain any special character, okay, it means we have to say it in the not symbol. Okay, pass dot includes, right, includes iterate symbol. Okay, if the password contains any of the special character, whether it is a single iterate or a single and symbol, it is going to be a strong password. This is going to be very simple logic, guys. If you want to change the logic, then okay, go ahead and change the logic. Okay, if the password contain any of the single special character, right? What first one is iterate, we are done with iterate. Now we have to deal with what, dollar character. Okay, just say not symbol pass dot includes a not symbol, sorry, a dollar symbol. If the pass doesn't include, okay, a unsymbol, where it is, if it includes any of the special character, what we have to say, strong password, right? Just copy the code here and paste it over once again. Okay, what went wrong? Okay, here just change this weak password to strong password. Okay, just change the color to red, sorry, just change the color to green. Okay, okay, green. Okay, now let's check our password field whether it works perfectly fine or not. Here you can see it works perfectly fine for our email. Now let's check our password. Let's say if I start write anything, it says weak password because its length is 5. If it goes beyond 7 characters, it says, what went wrong? Okay, I have to remove the not symbol because, okay, just say. Now let's check once again. Sahul, it is 5 characters, so it is weak password. Hamid, here you can see it is level characters, but it is saying good password because I didn't add any special characters. If I add any special characters, whether it is iterate, a single iterate, it changes the good password to strong password. Okay, I hope you understand the logic clearly. Okay, we are done with our password field also. Now let's go to the confirm password. Okay guys, now let's go to the confirm password section. This is going to be very simple, guys. Just we have to target this particular input field. Okay, just copy the 25th line code, paste it under here, just change the name over here. It is conf pass, I think so, conf password. Here you can see the id name is conf password. Okay, and we are going to use the event listener input event, and we have to change the function name. Let me say it as check conf password. Okay, still now we didn't create it. Now we are going to create it. Okay, just create a function with this name. Here our name is check conf password. Just say check conf password. This also takes the event, and we have to get the value of the particular confirm password input, right? For getting value you have to say let just name whatever the variable you wish. I'm going to name it as conf pass. Okay, just get the value by using event listener event.target.value. Okay, it gives the value for you, and the error message, just copy this where it is, just copy this line. Okay, paste it over here, but don't forget to change the id's name. Here our id name is what? Here we have to target this small tag which is in this 22nd line, right? Here the id name is conpass message. Just copy it and paste it over there. Okay, now we have to write our logic. Okay, if conf pass, see where it is, if conf pass doesn't match with this value of this particular input value, right? We have to say password doesn't match. For that we have to say document.getElement by id, because we have to get the value of that particular input, right? We can get that value by using id name. Okay, I hope the id name is password for that particular input, and we have to say value. If the password doesn't match with the confirm password, we have to say, if the confirm password doesn't match with password, we have to say what? Miss password doesn't match. Okay, just copy that code and paste it over here. Just say password doesn't match, password doesn't match. Okay, close it. What went wrong? Okay, here we have to change the id's name. Here I hope it is conf password. See here the id of the particular input field is conf password. Okay, I changed it correctly. Now we have to change the colors. We have to change the color to red, right? Okay, we have to change here also, because we have to change the color of the border, right? Okay, in the else section, if it matches, just copy this code and paste it over here. Just change the color and error message, just say password matches, nothing more fancy, and just change the color. Okay, I hope we are done with this. Okay, now let me refresh it and check once again. We didn't do anything for the name, so we don't have to worry about that. Now we have to care about the email section. If I write anything, it has to say invalid email. If I write my complete email correctly, it has to say valid email. Here you can see we are getting valid email correctly. Now let's work on the password section. If I start write anything on the password, it says weak password because its length is 5. If it goes beyond 7 characters, it will say good password. Here you can see it says good password. If I add any one of the special character, I'm adding an articulate here, it says strong password. If I write anything on the confirm password, it says password doesn't match. If I finish my password correctly, it will say password match. Okay, what went wrong? I wrote wrongly, I think so. Okay, here you can see guys, it says password matches. Here you can see guys, this is what we have done. I hope you have learned something new. I hope you have learned about EventListeners through this video. If you have enjoyed this video, if you have learned something new, don't forget to subscribe my channel and like this video.